Hello, friends, and welcome to Pod Return to the Waking Sands. If you don't know, we are a Final Fantasy XIV companion podcast where we explore the lore and story of Hydaelyn and beyond. My name is Jen, and I'm joined by my co-host and researcher.
I'm Levi.
Hello, Levi.
Hi, Jen.
Hi.
Are you ready for a delve into Halatali today, Jen?
I sure am. I am Halatali-eager to talk about it.
Love it. This is going to be a short one.
Yeah, because this is an optional little thing you can do, and there's not a lot of story surrounding it, really.
Yeah, this was actually the original concept for the off-week episodes, but then we ended up making some of them longer than the main episodes, as in like the main story episodes.
You never know what's going to just tickle our brains.
Yes, pretty much.
Yeah.
So anyway, it'll be nice to get a little bit of a break this week.
Yeah, just a little amuse-bouche of story.
Nice. So, as mentioned, today we are talking about the Halatali dungeon. We have just reported to Minfilia about the goings-on in Camp Drybone, and after we leave the Waking Sands, we can find a dapper fellow wearing a straw hat with safari flaps in the back.
He's dapper as far as, like, fishermen go.
He's the only guy I've seen pull it off.
Oh, it looks great.
This guy is an explorer and associate of the Scions. He thinks that we are hungry for adventure, and he's right.
What's his name?
What?
Nedrick the Ironheart. Right? Right.
Yes,
right?
Nedrick the Ironheart.
Okay. Okay. Hopefully it's right.
Hey, I got this lead for you. Go check it out.
Yeah, you thirsty for a skirmish?
I am thirsty.
Mm-hmm.
For a skirmish.
Thirsting for a skirmston.
So, he tells us of a location in eastern Thanalan, a 100-year-old gladiatorial training ground put to ruin by the Calamity. And it's been overrun by beasts, but it's sure to be a place to hone our skills.
Level 20 skills, anyway.
Yeah.
In the back in the day of Ul'dah, when gladiatorial combat was a form of entertainment, like man versus beast sort of thing. That's what this place was made.
What do you mean back in the day? It still is.
Well, no, they don't do like fighting lions and shit, right? They do it like. Do they?
Yeah.
Oh, well, shit. Okay,
the Hildebrand quest has not a lion, but quite a beast indeed.
I forget. So, like a century ago, they built Halatali as a training ground for gladiators, and they housed a lot of beasts in there so that you can train against the beasts. And then when the Calamity happened, the whole place got destroyed, but the beasts remained, and kind of like the giants in Copperbell, just proliferated, and now they just have total control of the area. So, if you're just, you want to, impress your friends, go to Halatali and fight your way through it.
Yeah, so they expected it to be just like empty and desolate inside, but no, there's been like a Hunger Games type thing going on where only the strongest and fittest of the beasts survive, and now that's who's left for us to deal with.
Bring it on.
So we hop on over to Eastern Thanalan, where we find the guard outside who keeps innocents away from the dungeon. Butter's having a party out there.
She is on one.
And because our name was given to the guard by Nedrick, we're like, oh, yep, you're free to go inside.
Good luck to you.
So the name Halatali, Jen, means the land of many shadows. This place is a maze of halls, arenas, and training equipment that is just overrun by savage beasts.
Cool.
The interior structure is a mix of stone caverns and artificial buildings. Navigating this place is a bit of a pain. It's very gamey because there's no way to actually traverse the dungeon except to go through these teleporters that appear arbitrarily when you kill a boss.
Yeah. Oh, God. I remember tanking this dungeon for the first time, and I'm like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. You go months and months and months as a DPS and you don't really have to pay attention. And then all of a sudden you start leveling tank and I'm lost. Especially in a Realm Reborn dungeons, like fucking hell.
The non-hallway dungeons.
God, I look like such an asshole. Yeah.
That's why you just say, I'm new, y'alls.
Every time.
Sure.
It's like, wait, you're a level 60 Dark Knight. I'm still new.
That can happen. Anyway, though, it's kind of hard to reconcile the teleporter layout with what the story is of the dungeon, because it's supposed to be a place that's fallen into ruin and is overrun by beasts, but you can't actually travel around inside of it until you kill the mini-boss, and then this teleporter appears. Like, it kind of makes sense as a training gauntlet, because if you're
like they've repurposed it.
This is us cleaning it out, but it feels like they've made it into like a gauntlet where it's okay, like I've made this boss magical, so when you kill it, the gate to the next area will open, and then repeat again to the next area. But it doesn't quite gel with the whole arena in ruins and the beasts run wild.
These could be remnants of when it was still operating, before the Calamity.
That's the only way to kind of square it, is to say, okay, so these mini-bosses are the top beasts from before, and this was the old deal.
Sure.
They still have their magical teleporter spell on them that when they die, then the combatants can then teleport to the next area.
Yeah.
There are doors, but they're perma-closed.
Yes. Can't go in there. That's why it's confusing, because
Yes.
You're going to run up to a door, it won't open. You're going to run up to another door, it won't open. And then everybody's wondering what the fuck is wrong with your tank.
So we enter the dungeon. The first stretch is a few spacious corridors with cut stone walls and cavernous ceilings. And there are a bunch of manacles chained to the wall here, along with several training dummies. The main set piece of the stretch is a big circular room with a sand fighting circle littered with arrows and weapons. The enemies here are imps, bombs, and the Dullahans, the
dock doors.
the empty armor that's animated.
Yeah.
And the Voidsen aren't really supposed to be here in a legal sense because, except for one notable exception, they're not allowed here. So we can infer that maybe they were attracted to this place given all the death going on between the beasts. But they shouldn't have been the original beasts here because there's only one Voidsen in the dungeon, canonically.
Which one would that be?
The last boss, which we'll get to in a minute.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, we fight our way past those guys and reach the first boss, which is in a large stone hall with a big blazing bonfire on a platform.
Well, a big fat fire sprite materializes and then starts to summon little baby fire sprites. And if the fire sprites, I don't know what the little baby ones are called, but if the little baby ones reach the fire, they send out like a big AoE throughout the entire arena, and so your entire party will take a little bit of damage. But yeah, you just kind of focus fire on the actual fire sprite, and that's it.
Yeah, the boss is Firemane. Its name is Firemane.
Sorry, Firemane.
Did you take no notes, Jen?
I took none notes.
Oh my god.
Because we just did it.
I did it too, and I took notes.
Well, that's your job, all right?
Great. So I think that the intended mechanic is for the DPS to kill the little sprites. But honestly,
I guess no, you don't need to. You shouldn't.
You don't need to, and also they spawn at such an aggressive rate that if you were to try to, it'd be
you would
so
never
much.
leave. You would never leave.
Yeah. So you just let the healer heal through the explosions.
Fine. Yeah, it's not a lot of damage. Just focus fire. It's all good.
Yep. Once Firemane goes down, then the bonfire turns from a blazing red to a hot blue.
Yeah.
And then we click it and teleport to the next leg of the dungeon.
Like a blue raspberry.
I have seen multiple people get lost right here.
Yep.
Because when the group goes through the teleporter, the newbie will backtrack and think a door is opened in the first room or something. Mm-hmm. So they go running around trying to find the way out and get lost.
Yep.
Not very intuitive.
Nope. Yeah, clicking on that. I guess if you've done, I don't think any dungeon has a, click here to get teleported mechanic at this point.
Not yet. This is the first one.
Yeah.
But also it's very subtle because the fire changes color, yes, but it's not intuitive to click on a fire to teleport.
No. You have to literally stand up and get inside the fucking pile of wood.
Yeah.
It's whatever. You figure it out.
We appear in a big, winding, cavernous corridor next that's full of green fog. This section twists and turns over itself, and if you look off the edge of the path, you can see that there's a ravine below that is just blanketed in this green fog. The Debris of gladiatorial battles just litters this place. Weapons on the floor, rickety wooden scaffolding on the walls, and lots more manacles.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The main gimmick of this section is that there are these chain winches hanging down from the ceiling that you need to pull.
Right, and there are, like, bombs on them, hanging out by them.
There are 3 things that can spawn if you pull them. Either a bomb will appear, a chest will appear, or a trio of lightning sprites.
Uh-huh. And you have to pull these to proceed.
Yes.
And it's, I mean, again, it's not super clear.
No, it's not. The gate doesn't open. There's like a portcullis to the next boss fight, which will not open until you pull all of these winches.
Yep.
Which fits the gauntlet vibe, but not really the whole abandoned arena. Like, you would think the Drake beyond the portcullis would have starved, because it's locked in that room for 5 years or whatever.
Maybe it feeds on void scent or something.
Well, Jen, there are no void scent on this stretch because there's only
Because he ate them all.
There are only mantises and giant snakes.
Why couldn't you go out and eat some of those?
Because the gate's closed and you can't open the gate until you pull like 5 of the winch thingies.
Shit.
Yeah, got you there, Jen.
You didn't get me. You got Square Enix.
Take that,
Square
Enix.
They did not think this through at all. Serious continuity issues.
Serious. This dungeon has ruined the game for me.
Yeah, though, you put any plant under a microscope, you're sure to find flaws.
I hope someone got fired for this blunder. Anyway, though, once we figure out that we have to pull the winches, then the gate will open, leading the way to the next boss fight.
Dragon guy.
Yes, the boss itself is the Thunderclap Guivra, which is a big purple lizard with a spiked tail.
Neat. A thagomizer, if you will.
Sure.
Mm-hmm. So the Guivre?
Yes.
Guivre? The Guivre is hanging out in some standing water at the bottom of a ramp, and he's going to approach the ramp and then walk away from the ramp and then approach the ramp and walk away from the ramp. And when he walks away, he's going to spawn a little group of lightning sprites, and he will go invuln.
At different damage windows is when he retreats back to the water.
Right. So the tank has to go and get him, bring him back to the ramp. So everybody don't go in the water. Everybody should hang out on the ramp while the tank brings the thing back and forth.
Because when the Guivra, whatever, when the lizard electrifies, then
you're gonna take damage if you're standing in that water.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So anyway, he'll go back and forth and spawn the lightning sprites. You kill the sprites before you can start killing him again. This is the kind of the theme of this dungeon. The bosses in this dungeon is that they go invulnerable until you kill their little buddies. So you do that back and forth, and there you go.
If your DPS and tank are on point, they should be pulling the lizard away from the pool and then stunning it when it tries to retreat back to it, which gives you a few more seconds to do some damage before it goes invuln.
Yeah, but, if you don't, that's okay too.
It's fine.
It's fine.
After we kill this thing, a water spout appears in the pool, and we click on it to teleport to the last stretch.
Yeah. So enter a raging bonfire or enter a raging maelstrom to go to other places. No problem. Though, this whole exercise is really just a test of your bravery. So if you don't want to go in a whirlpool, then you're a fucking coward.
It's true.
It's true. Yeah, you're I'm not getting in that. I'm going to bail.
The last leg is very small. It's just a slope that winds up around a circular stone fighting platform. This area has the Z's enemies, the big flightless bird type enemies with scales instead of feathers.
Dinosaurs.
Sure. They remind me of more bird than dinosaur in their body shape, but whatever.
Yeah.
Either way, though, if you want to, you can detour into the fighting pit for a chest, or you can just skip most enemies here and hug the wall until you reach a big metal double door, which, when opened, leads to the final boss arena.
We did it!
Not yet, Jen.
We almost did it.
We have to fight Tangata first.
Tangata
is a big, thick biped, an ogre void scent with curved horns.
Yeah.
Just a big, dumb, strong guy.
Yeah.
He's in here because one of the former Halatali organizers from before the Calamity, They made a substantial donation to the Order of Nalthal in order to receive an exception to the no voidsent allowed rule.
Ooh.
They paid a little cash to get this extra spicy enemy here for the gladiators. And now it's our problem.
He's not really a problem.
No.
So, same deal with this guy. You're going to fight him.
What he does, Jen, is after you do enough damage to him, he drops a big pool of fire at his feet. He's invulnerable while the fire is up, and also don't stand in there because it'll hurt you.
The ogre, it's not a donut. What's the other term for that sort of like...
Circle?
No, I'm not talking about the shape, but the technical term for that sort of AoE.
I'd call it a circle AoE.
Okay, yeah. Circle AoE around the boss. Or what's his name?
Tengata.
So he'll do that for a bit, and while that's going on, there's a fire sprite that's going to materialize, and you'll have to kill it before he will be able to take damage again. So when the fire sprite is out, he's invulnerable. And just like with the first mini-boss, the little baby sprites will come out as well. They're inconsequential. Please do not pay attention to them. So you got to focus on these fire sprites, get the ogre, Tangata, vulnerable again, and just rinse and repeat. I think that's really like kind of the only series of mechanics.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
He'll throw out like a fireball once in a while that you need to dodge, but no big deal.
Yeah, it's super easy.
In this case, I don't think you could even kill the baby sprites if you want to, like the little embers, because the time it takes for them to leave the braziers on the wall to arrive in the arena center where they explode is like 2-3 seconds. To target them and burn them down, if you wanted to, which you shouldn't.
Yeah, it's a fool's errand.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Don't pay attention to the distraction. It's a test. Don't fail it.
I have to wonder, do they want the players to destroy these things and like try and keep them away?
No, I think it's a distraction. I think it's like a kind of a learning exercise. Eventually you'll realize like we cannot focus on these. When we leave them alone and we get a little bit of a damage, that's fine. So I think it's just kind of a learning process to teach people kind of these different mechanics, and you maybe don't need to focus or fight or kill fucking everything.
I feel like in a later dungeon, if they were to do the same mechanic, they wouldn't even be targetable. It'd just be like orbs that float in. So then you would know when it contacts a certain point, it explodes.
Right.
And the healer has to be ready to heal through that.
That's exactly it.
But in this case, they're actually like enemies. Could target if you want to.
Yeah. And then you would waste a whole lot of time running after these guys. So yeah, I think it's just kind of a learning exercise.
So we do the whole DPS Tengata, then kill the big sprites and repeat a couple times. And then we pop our limit break and we're done. And, you know, hopefully if you're at like level 20 or thereabouts, you can get some fun gear out of it. And either way, though, Halatali is now open for business. Ta-da! And we'll be back here later on when it reopens. What are you talking about? I'm talking about us coming back here later on. For what? To fight shit. When it reopens? Yes. What are you talking about? Are you doing a bit? No. What are you talking about? Oh, we come back? There is a Halatali hard mode at level 50. Which is another dungeon that is actually the reopened and functional Halatali. I see. Okay. I totally forgot. It was so long ago. I thought it was clear. We come back here to fight shit. And you're like, what are you talking about? Yeah, like what? Are you being coy or weird? Or I don't remember. Are you being coy or weird? No. Great. Apparently. Jen just forgot. It's okay. It's okay, Jen. It'll be fine. Big time. Yeah, totally forgot. Same dudes, but they're just harder. It's a remix, Jen. I don't remember. Yeah, it's pretty fun because it's actually open now. So you go into the dungeon and you fight actual gladiators. Oh, that's what I remember actually. When I did this today, I was like, oh right, I remember like the training grounds. We had to like go in here. I remember going in here for like a reason, not just like, oh, you want to be an adventurer, you want to have a fun time, and more like this is a series of tests for you, like officially. Yeah. So that's okay. That makes sense. There are a couple like that actually. So yeah, I'm looking forward to coming back here when it's level 50 and revisiting it. Someday. Soon-ish. Nope. No, God, in a year maybe. Do you like this dungeon, Jen? That's such a weird question to me
You know, is a dungeon likable?
Is that weird?
What's the metric?
As I'm asking Jen, not Otis Old Thing, your character. Did Jen have fun playing through this dungeon?
Oh, it was super fun. Yeah. Really, it's really chill. Once you know where to go and to click on things to move forward. But yeah, it's fun.
Yeah, it's a very snack of a dungeon. It's not very long at all. And you can just blaze through it if you want to and just like do big pulls. The only downer is that some classes don't have area of effect abilities at this point.
No.
So if you're playing Dragoon or Lancer, then you gotta single target everything versus blasting a group.
Yeah. I'm playing Archer, so I did have an AoE, and I think it's like the only class that has an AoE at level 20.
Oh, besides tanks.
Sure. Yeah. Anyway.
But yeah, no, that's good stuff. They should make it a rule to get your AoE before the first dungeon because...
I know, right? Ugh. Because the tank we were with, they were pulling hardcore. So it worked out, though.
Anyway, I think that all the boss fights are pretty fun. It's a pretty casual, breezy romp, and I'm never sorry to see it.
Sure. Fun stuff. So when you see those blue quests, people, pick them up.
Do your blue quests.
Do your blue quests. I'm doing them.
Good. Finally. The pitch for the dungeon, though, is pretty funny. This
you
guy...
bored? Are you bored?
Yeah, pretty much. It's like, you're an adventurer, right? I know adventurers love dungeons. Yeah. Here's a dungeon for you. We know now that this is to actually clean it out to be reopened, but he doesn't ever mention that. Nobody mentions the public good this will do.
No, this is just like, do you need to, you want to get your dick wet? Like, do this dungeon.
As a player, yes, I want to do a dungeon, but I'd like to think that my character has higher standards than, hey, you like killing shit? Here's some shit for you to kill.
Basically, yeah. And we're like, absolutely. Sign me the fuck up. We have fun.
We do have fun. Any other comments, Jen?
No, I'm good.
Well, next time, we are going to take on our first 4-person trial. We will be playing through the Bowl of Embers.
That's big. It's really big.
It's a big milestone in the story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very exciting. Well, that was a yummy little morsel of an episode. If you would like to get in touch with us, you can at podreturnffxiv@gmail.com. And we hope you enjoyed the episode. Thank you so much for listening, and we will see you next time.